What's up, Pisces? This is Jesse with 44 Astro with a general tarot reading for the new moon coming up on May 7th. May 7th, it's going to be in Taurus, 18 degrees Taurus. It's going to be at 11:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which will put it in the fourth mansion of the moon. The fourth mansion of the moon, your dreams need a practical plan. The fourth mansion of the moon is all about working hard to overcome obstacles. You can read about it. The astrology, pretty much everything is in Aries and Taurus, except for Saturn, Pluto, and Neptune. The moon, the sun, Venus, Uranus, and Jupiter are all in Taurus. In Aries, it has Mercury, Chiron, North Node, Mars, all in Aries. For a Pisces ascendant, this could be your second or third house. Now, if Taurus is your second house, this is good planets. This is good. Taurus in the second house with Jupiter there, Uranus there, the sun there, the moon there, Venus there. You could really want to be making money right now. You may do something like try to find ways to make extra money, but also you might want to make things that are beautiful or do art or something like that. Or sensual pleasures, because Venus can represent sex, feminine sexuality. Mars, which is in his sign of rulership too, can represent masculine sexuality. So both the signs of sex are both planets of sex. Well, two of them anyway. Pluto's also a planet of sex, but it's not the same kind of sex. One of these days I'll do a Pluto video and I'll give you an idea of what Pluto sex is really all about. And it is not good. But there could be strong sexual urges right now. But I guess your third house, I'd be worried about communication. Mars is Mars is touching Pluto, so that's anger touching rage. and if it is your third house, if Aries is your third house, and you have that going on, be careful of just snappy, combative type communication. It could be rough. And because it's touching Chiron, Mercury is in Aries. It could be communication meant to harm or to wound, and because Chiron's the wounded healer. But through that, you could also gain a healing because you learn something, or it helps you evolve or grow in some way. But I would say most of this new moon is going to revolve around passion about making more money or making things more beautiful, or sexuality and sensuality. Building strong foundations, this type of thing. I mean, with Uranus touching Jupiter, if it is in your second house, if you're a Pisces ascendant, that can be sudden expansion of money, like sudden. I'm not saying go out and gamble or play the lottery. I'm just saying that it is a possible expression. Most likely it's going to manifest as a new opportunity to make money, but it also could just be sudden money. So, and if it's your third house, if that's where that's going on in, there may be some kind of communication about how you want to make new money. Or like you want to express yourself in maybe even a more beautiful way, the way you communicate. You could even be focusing on making your home more beautiful, like garage sales, cleaning your home to make it more aesthetically pleasing while also making money. You'll probably see that a lot around right now if you actually look around. Also, you could be wanting to create art or making things more beautiful. You could also do your, like I said, gardening and landscaping, make your home more beautiful. I mean, all these things, Taurus energy, Venus energy, and it's very prominent right now. The only thing that could throw a kink in that really is the Mercury being in Aries. It's not really the best type of communication, especially if it's touching Chiron. Like I said, it can be communication that can wound or hurt someone. And that could be around you too, so be aware of it. And it can be hard for people to really control it with this when it's really intense like this. Especially, like I said, with Pluto touching Mars. That really intensifies it. But again, that can also manifest sexually too, like strong urges. So also be aware and careful about that. Like, don't walk alone at night in big cities. Your dreams need a practical plan, Pisces. All of us need practical plans as far as I'm concerned, if you really want to accomplish something. But you have to let it unfold in its own way. Some things will go according to plan, but some things certainly will not. On the bottom, you have an emperor here. This could be a very domineering figure in your life, or it could be how you present yourself. Looks like it's revolving around Earth sign female. Doesn't mean that their sun sign has to be Earth. It could be their ascendant or their moon, or they have a heavy Earth influence in their chart. Crossed by rest. This person, I mean, this could be even you, even if you have a lot of Earth in your chart. It's crossed by rest. Like maybe you're feeling really tired right now. Like you just want to take a second to step back and like chill out, so you can like gain your bearings and kind of figure out where you're going. Feels like in the recent past there's arguments, some kind of conflict between people, you and multiple people, you and your spouse, you and people at work, you and your friends. Could be any of that, because you feel like someone was being strategic or lying to you, or vice versa. You were being strategic and lying to them. Either way. And it's causing type of conflict, and you were just tired of this. You're like, man, I just want to chill out on this. Could be with an earth sign. The conscious influence is your hopes and dreams, your wishes. The cuppeth overfloweth. Many cups to use. So that influence is around you. So that possibility presents itself. You do have everything you need around you, right? The unconscious influence is judgment. This could be your own personal judgment that you need to make. It's in the unconscious, and you need to make a judgment about whatever this situation is. If they're being strategic or there's arguments being made, you're going to have to, somebody's being domineering. You're either going to have to stand your ground, or if you're being overly domineering, you may have to kind of step back and be like, hey, maybe I'm being a little bit too controlling or domineering. It can be either way. Most likely it's happening to you, because that kind of stuff generally happens to Pisces, sadly to say, because Pisces is a sign of sacrifice and service. So a lot of times that kind of happens to Pisces. They have to go through loss and things like this in order to grow. It's kind of just like the mission of Pisces. It depends on how strong Pisces is in your chart, of course. If you don't have a lot of planets there, or a lot of influence, or one of the big three with aspects on it, I wouldn't say that it'd be that prominent for you. But this is saying make a judgment, or you're about to make a judgment. Like it's in the unconscious. Like you're on the precipice. You're like, I've about had enough of this argument. I've had enough of this strategic bullcrap. I'm about to have to say something. You feel overworked. You feel overburdened. This is you right now. Maybe you even feel wounded. Maybe you feel like you're even recovering from something that was traumatic, or like even physically hurt you in some way. And you're like, I got to get over this. And you're trying to work through it. In your environment, this could be about your love relationship. Either your actual spouse, or even former spouse. Maybe you broke up already. Or maybe you're thinking about it. But most likely that's what this communication is with your spouse. There's like arguments going on. If you're single, love is around you, but I think you're caught up in whatever this situation is with like arguing and gossip and people being strategic, and maybe you can't see it. You can't see the forest for the trees type of thing. And that's what I'm saying, because that's the advice. It's saying don't stay blind. If you get dragged down to this negativity too much, and you're doing things that make you feel bad or unhappy, it's like it's gonna be rough, because the outcome right here is heartbreak. I mean, you have to stand your ground. You can't let individuals talk to you like that, or you can't be disrespected like that. If you don't like the situation that you're in, and the person is not someone that's going to acquiesce or change in any way, or they're not showing you any signs of it, then guess what? This is going to be the inevitable outcome. No matter how long you string it along, it's eventually going to culminate to this anyway. But the longer you string it along, the worse it becomes when this actually occurs. I don't wish this on anybody. I mean, if you're single, maybe you lost someone. And if you keep focusing on that, then it's raining in this picture. You're going to be sad. You're going to be upset. It's not going to lead to a happy life. And if you are single and you're searching, if you stay caught up in whatever this is, this strategic situation, or whatever these arguments are, you're not going to be able to see what you need to see. You're not going to be able to see it. You're not going to be able to find it. That's why you got to have a practical plan. You need to be able to stand your ground, right? But you can do that without being adversarial or aggressive. You can do that. And if they won't let you stand your ground, then the only choice is that you just need to go. Because you need to be able to express yourself. That's what Carl Jung said. People aren't depressed because they're lonely. It's because they're not able to express what matters to them. That's what matters. Being able to express what matters to you to someone. We need to be who we are. We need to be able to express exactly who we are and what we feel, the things we believe. If you can't express that in a relationship, it is not a good relationship. if you can't express who you actually are and the things that matter to you, you will become very depressed. Doesn't matter how many people are around you. Doesn't matter if you got all kind of friends. If you can't express, if in this group of friends you can't express the things you're interested in, what matters to you in this world, then you're going to be depressed. Or it's going to lead to that. It's going to lead to heartbreak. And that goes for relationships too. You have to be able to express what matters to you. And we all know what we care about. I mean, we're all people. If we're honest with ourselves, we'll know what we care about. That's why I'm saying you need a practical plan. Approach it with grace. You know what I mean? Approach it with love. It's going to work. It's going to be what it's going to be. Like, yeah. I mean, it's also good to be strategic. As it could also be saying, be strategic about the way you approach this situation if you are unhappy. Even if it's just expressed with yourself, because you have to be honest with yourself too, and you have to be strategic, because you could really, really hurt yourself, like really hurt your own feelings by being brutally honest. I mean, I believe you need to be brutally honest like that, but you also don't want to fall into like a deep depression. That's scary. It's scary stuff. It's real. I've been there. I know. It's not where you want to be. But if you're surrounded in a situation that you don't feel like you can express what matters to you, and it's not making you happy, then you're going to fall down to depression anyway, and that's no good. You know, and this could also be that you have loved ones around you supporting you, and that's what you need to focus on, right? Instead of focusing on whatever this was. Because the advice is like, you're not seeing the forest for the trees. You got to try to see it for what it is. Because if you can't, then this is the inevitable outcome. And it may be the inevitable outcome anyway. And sometimes that's what's got to happen in order to change and to grow. I mean, we all go through heartbreaks. I refuse to believe unless you're completely emotionally detached as a human being, which is possible. It's called psychopaths. It's called psychopathy. Unless you're part of that dark triad, Machiavellianism, psychopathy, narcissism, and even narcissism will feel, because that's based off envy, like extreme envy. But specifically with psychopathy, unless you're a psychopath, you're going to have heartbreak in your life at some point, at least what we call heartbreak. It'll mean something different to each person, but we're all going to go through it. And it's something that we have to do as people, and it helps us grow, believe it or not. It teaches us. It teaches us about, you know, if we had a heartbreak, whatever the situation may be, we learn something about that kind of situation for the future, whether how to handle ourselves better or to how to do it differently when you get the chance. It's all about growth. You can focus on the problem, or you can focus on the solution. If you focus on the problem, you're just going to be like this. You're going to be in the rain. But if you're focusing on the solution, even though you're in the rain, you're walking tall through the rain. You're working to stop the rain. You're at least making steps to get out, or to rectify the situation. And there's nothing wrong with being upset or feeling depressed. You just don't want to always feel that way. You want to work through it to the extent that your process requires. You want to integrate it, acknowledge it, and then start moving forward and grow and learn from it. Learn what you need to learn from it. Anything. With that being said, Pisces, that's all I have. Please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it will really help push the algorithm. Comment specifically. Just tell me it doesn't resonate. That's fine too. Thumbs down. I don't care. I'm pretty sure all of it will help push it forward. I really need the watch hours. But again, you don't have to if you don't want to. But it'll help motivate me to make more content. But either way, I'm glad that you're here, Pisces, and I hope to see you here again. Happy new moon.